The High Republic has given us some of the best storytelling in Star Wars, from Force lore, Jedi lore, and giving us one of the most terrifying antagonists in Star Wars canon history in the Nihil and the Drengir. Now, don't listen to any of the naysayers who haven't read a single book of the High Republic, because they deal in the business of being reactionary to headlines. The High Republic is the dawn of a new era in the expanded canon universe. But if you didn't buy into the High Republic from day one, you'll find yourself lagging behind. Fortunately, Phase 1 has come to an end, giving you several months until the next phase hits. And I've got you covered. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new for more Star Wars content. I also just added some new channel membership tiers, so go ahead and take a look at that. Consider joining and supporting my content today. While this is not a complete and exhaustive list, I've created a complete Phase 1 timeline of all of the most essential reading. The three main adult novels here are Light of the Jedi, The Rising Storm, and The Fallen Star. All things considered, you can experience the entire narrative from these books. While exploring the YA novels, comics, and junior novels is not required, it will definitely expand on your vertical narrative and context of every story that takes place in and around the main novels. The High Republic starts 200 years before the Phantom Menace with the Great Disaster at 232 BBY. Starting with Light of the Jedi, this is the book that establishes the time period, introduces the bulk of the Jedi will come to care for, and introduces the main antagonists, the Nihil. It's a large-scale, sweeping narrative that sets up the stage for the High Republic. The junior novel, A Test of Courage, begins before the Great Disaster, but then progresses to events happening concurrently with the Light of the Jedi. The young adult novel, Into the Dark, is an isolated story of characters on their own mission, which also takes place before and then concurrently with Light of the Jedi. And then we have the storybook of the same events, The Great Jedi Rescue. The events of the High Republic comic up to issue 8 and High Republic Adventures up to issue 7 happen concurrently with the Great Disaster and sometime afterwards. The Monster of Temple Peak acts as a prequel to these events, covering former Jedi and monster hunter Ty Yorick and her place in all of this. Moving on to a year later with the Republic Fair on Valo, 231 BBY. Book 2 of the High Republic comes to us in The Rising Storm, which brings us even further into the narrative as the Republic reels from the events of the Great Disaster, preparing for the Republic Fair on the planet of Valo. Race to Crash Point Tower is a junior novel, its events happening concurrently with the events of The Rising Storm. The storybook Showdown at the Fair also happens concurrently with the events of The Rising Storm. High Republic issues 9 to 12 and Adventures issues 8 through 13 all happen concurrently with the Republic Fair. Then we have the young adult novel Out of the Shadows, which happens immediately after the Republic Fair. Tempest Runner, the fully voiced audio drama, also takes place after Out of the Shadows. Following that, the Trail of Shadows comic issues 1 through 3 immediately follow events of The Rising Storm, with issue 1 taking place right after the last chapter of The Rising Storm. The Edge of Balance manga takes place prior to and concurrently with the events of The Rising Storm. The Edge of Balance Volume 2 takes place from 231 BBY to 230 BBY, leading into Wave 3 of the High Republic, which brings us to the final wave of Phase 1 with The Fallen Star. This is the third book in Phase 1 and covers the events of the battle for Starlight. Junior novel Mission to Disaster takes place prior to The Fallen Star, but I highly recommend saving that for after because emotions. Young adult novel Midnight Horizon takes place concurrently with The Fallen Star and follows Jedi on a mission to Corellia. The storybook The Battle for Starlight takes place concurrently with The Fallen Star. And then we have The Eye of the Storm, which is a comic book series revolving around the enigmatic Marchion Ro, leader of the Nihil, and spans the timeline covering prehistory and leading up to the events in The Fallen Star. The High Republic and High Republic Adventures and Trail of Shadows continues from the last issues into present time. As I said before, the bulk of the narrative happens in the three main adult novels, Light of the Jedi, The Rising Storm, and The Fallen Star. So all things being equal, considered all that, you can read these three books and enjoy the story. There will be several events and references to missions in these books that will definitely request that you do read them, but it's your choice to venture into these stories, giving you a more well-rounded understanding of the entirety of this time period. And personally, I do recommend the YA and junior novels, simply because they're centered around Padawans and learners. And the best way to learn about the Force and learn about Star Wars is to learn alongside these learners. The comics definitely lend to more context surrounding the main events of the novels and give you great visuals, but they are not essential reading. But I have a feeling that once you're into the High Republic, you're in for life. But that'll do it for this video. If you found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, please leave a like and subscribe for more Star Wars content if you are new to the channel. Tune in every Saturday at 5 p.m. live for Dyad in the Force with my Dyad and co-host Darth Choco. And of course, a hearty thank you to our channel members. that is the end. On to the next one. For Light and Life, we are all the Republic, and may the Force be with you.